Hey guys, how is it going? And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the trips Y ISO formation out of the New Orleans Saints playbook. I was trying to find a unique formation out of this playbook since I know it's a pretty popular book this year, and I settled on trips Y ISO. I know it's in other formation or other playbooks as well, but I feel like it really fits the Saints offense, like their personnel really well. You get to isolate Jimmy Graham on the outside. And a lot of what I came up with out of this formation is like vertical down the field passing game, taking advantage of the height that the Saints have on the outside and the speed that they have in the slots with Cooks and Kenny Stills. So go ahead and jump right into it. And the play that I'll come out in most often, it's not the play I come out in every time, but most often, is deep attack, the Y play. And pretty much move the ball back real quick so that we have more space for the vertical routes. And as you see, we have the deep cross by Cooks. We have the dig behind him by Kenny Stills. Colston on a fade. Graham's on a post. I don't like the post route, so what I generally do is I'll put Graham on a fade. And I'll leave Ingram on his block and release flat route. And pretty much the reads are super simple. If you have one-on-one on the outside with either Graham or Colston, I'm going to want to take that. So I'll know if you guys would feel comfortable taking the one-on-ones on the outside, but that's what I generally do. If my opponent leaves a corner on Jimmy Graham, 6'6", 6'7", Jimmy Graham, I'm going to take that matchup all day. Same thing with Colston on the other side. If it's man-to-man, say it's two men under, they have safety help over the top, you want to look for Cooks on the deep cross or Kenny Stills coming in behind him, and then you have the check down to Mark Ingram if, for whatever reason, you can't throw it deep and they have the middle of the field locked up. So go ahead and run this a few times for you guys here. Right there, I had one-on-ones on the outside, but I saw Cooks wide open crossing over the middle, so I went ahead and took the easy pickup. Since sometimes you never know, throwing it deep, you could get an overthrow, you could get a drop, you just never know. So right there, once again, it was man-to-man. You go ahead and hit Brandon Cooks. Try to hit another route for you guys. Hopefully they don't run man again. It is man again. I tried to hit the dig route. I could have thrown the Cooks route. Obviously I would in a game, but I was trying to hit Kenny Stills on the dig. Right there, man-to-man again. And just to show you guys that dig route does generally get inside positioning on man-to-man, and you're able to throw that for a nice gain. Right there, that was the one-on-one. You saw Colston was one-on-one with the free safety. I think that was Robert Lester, not 100% certain, but you have to be able to, for this formation, in my opinion, to be most successful, you have to be willing and able to take advantage of the one-on-one opportunities that your opponent gives you on the outsides. And right there, the computer feels like running a lot of man, so you're getting a good look at how the Cooks route continuously beats man-to-man over and over. Right there, tried to go one-on-one. I kind of got caught up behind the corner. That was bad on my part. I should have swerved inside more. Right there, man-to-man again. Went ahead and hit the dig route, so I didn't throw the same route. But you guys, I'm sure, get the idea by now. Pretty much, you want to look for the one-on-ones on the outside. And right there, it was almost, that would have been an overthrow for pretty much every other receiver. But since Jimmy Graham is so tall, he was able to go up and make a play on that ball. That's pretty much what you want to look for right there. I wasn't able to make a play. So that's the base play, or not the base play, but it's the play I come out in most often. It's probably the play that I run the most often as well. That and another play, which I'll get to later. But I'll go over the quick audibles right now. The quick pass is stick Y fade, which Graham comes in, but that's not a big deal. I'll pretty much hot route him to a fade route, and you pretty much have the same thing. You have stick on the left, and then you have the two vertical routes by Colston and Graham for the one-on-one if it's open for whatever reason. Right there, that was an awful read by me. Stick can be tricky to read sometimes. I don't really run it much because I don't have that much confidence in myself to make the right read, because sometimes you'll think like the flat's open, but someone will fly out there, or sometimes you'll think like Cooks is open on that little route, and like right there, some guy just flew up and was able to jump in front of the pass. So I don't really practice stick that much, but it is a pretty decent short yardage play if you have confidence in yourself to run it. The down audible, the run audible is the halfback draw, which is a shame because this formation does have the halfback base, and I think it has a counter as well. So those are two really good runs, but the run they gave us was the halfback draw. So obviously I'm not a big fan of draws this year, and like that's why. But if you're running a custom or if you change the audibles or whatever, I would definitely recommend putting in the HP base or the counter as the run audible. The deep pass is 4 verticals, and this is very, very similar to the play that we come out in. You pretty much have the same thing. You have the vertical routes on the outside. You've got Cooks crossing over the middle on the deep cross, and then you've got Kenny Stills attacking the seam, which that route's pretty good against like cover 3 or cover 2. Against cover 2, you can throw that, pass lead it to the middle of the field, and he'll be wide open more times than not for a huge game. So it's just 4 verticals is a play that I call, like, especially if I notice my opponent's running a lot of cover 2, which is pretty common this year because a lot of people run like the cover 2 invert, and so and then when they run that, they usually use the safety who has like the middle of the field priority, and more times than not when they see 4 verticals, they're gonna run with the Brandon Cooks route over the middle because that's what everybody throws when they run 4 verticals usually. So that'll leave Kenny Stills just wide open behind him. So just something to take note of, like right there. That was against, it looked like some type of cover 2 shell, and that's pretty much what I was talking about with just pass lead it inside with Kenny Stills, and you get huge gains. Huge gains. Right there. Take the one-on-one with Colston and go up and make a play. And that's pretty much 4 verticals in a nutshell. Against man-to-man, obviously, you have the one-on-ones on the outside, and then Brandon Cooks' route generally beats man-to-man. Just be careful not to get it lurked, because a lot of people, once they recognize 4 verticals, they'll sit on that deep cross because they know that's what a lot of people like to throw. So the play action audible is PA deep outs, and this is the other play that I was talking about that I run a good bit. Pretty much my adjustments, I'll put Graham and Colston on fades, and then either you can either leave Cooks on the out route, which I do sometimes if I think the flat's going to be open, or I'll put him on a slant route if I don't think the flat's going to be open. It's basically just kind of a call you have to make based on what you've been seeing from your opponent. And so this is probably the way I run it the most with the slant route, but you could definitely just run it with the out route or whatever. But basically same idea here with you got the one-on-ones on the outside if they present themselves to you, and then you've got Kenny Stills running the skinny post, which is a really good post route. Against cover 2, you'll get huge. It's pretty much like an automatic touchdown if your opponent runs cover 2, because you can just pass lead the post route up, and Drew Brees your quarterback will throw it like right down the hash marks, like right down the middle of the hash marks, and there'll be nobody around, and it's an easy touchdown. And against cover 3, it's kind of sketchy. Like you have to recognize the coverage and throw it pretty quickly, but you can fit in the post route against cover 3 in front of that deep defender. You just have to pass lead it to the inside and then click on and cut it off before he's able to jump it. But against cover 3, I'd recommend just throwing one of the outside routes, because generally you have one-on-one on the outside against cover 3. So right there, it was man-to-man right there. And that's another thing, that post route, more times than not in my experience, will get inside positioning on man-to-man, and you'll be able to fit that in. So right here, I'll run it again. You got the one-on-ones to the outside. You cannot be afraid to take the one-on-ones out of this formation. That's pretty much what makes it so good in my opinion, is the ability to have your tight end split out by himself on one side and then have another big receiver on the other side. And then with the other, generally you want your slot receivers attacking the middle of the field so they can't completely key on the 2 outside receivers. Since if they do, they'll leave the middle of the field open. And then you also have a pretty good complementary run game out of this formation that I'll get to later. So let's run this again for you guys. Right there, Kuechly made a good play. I didn't think he would recover in time. Let's see. I'll try to throw. Try to do it like this for you guys. right there. I threw that too late. Roman Harper was able to get back in time, but as you can see, if I would have made a better throw, if I'd been quicker with this read, if I had thrown it like right there, that was an easy, super easy completion to Kenny Stills right here in this little pocket. But as you can tell, I threw it. I haven't even thrown it yet. Like I started throwing it right like there, which is entirely too late. So it just comes with practice. Like this isn't something that I've run like extensively and gotten all the reads perfectly. As you can tell, I also had Brandon Cooks wide open underneath right there. I had one-on-ones on the outside, or at least one-on-one with Jimmy. So I had other places that I could have gone to, but I tried to fit that in. Oops, I didn't mean to snap the ball right there. Try to throw that to Jimmy. Nope, okay. So the other plays out of this formation that I think are good and that I like mixing in, I'll go ahead and go to the run game. Let's see. Yeah, they do have a counter. Okay, I thought so. So the run game, pretty much, you have the halfback base, which is a good run to the left. I'll run it a couple times for you guys. Very standard, like pretty much every shotgun formation, almost every shotgun formation has a halfback base. It's a good run. It's a great alternative if they don't have like an inside zone or like an 0-1 trap or something. Then halfback base is still good. It's definitely better than like any like halfback sweep or anything like that at a shotgun. So it's nice that this formation does have it right there. Mark Ingram getting big. And then the complement to that, as I was talking about earlier, is the halfback counter, which I won't run for you guys, but pretty much I like to make them respect the halfback base first. And then what a lot of people do, they'll start like either pinching their line or loading people up like between the tackles. That's when you want to hit them with the counter. The counter is like your big play kind of run, big play potential run, because if they pinch the line and like load the middle of the line of scrimmage, then it's really easy to get outside on the counter and get huge yards. So just keep that in mind whenever you're setting up the base and setting them up to hit them with the counter. So another play, I like this play in short yardage situations out of here, is the smash Y fade. Pretty much the only adjustment I would make is I put Graham on an actual fade route rather than leave him on the little end zone fade. And pretty much I always look to hit Colston here. Colston or Cooks pretty much. And then you've got the one-on-one on the outside with Graham if you have it, and then the check down to Mark Ingram. So try to run that right there man-to-man. And because of Colston, it's almost like a double move. Like he kind of fakes like he's going to run like an out route or something, and then he cuts to them inside, and 9 times out of 10 in my experience, he'll get really good positioning on his man, and you'll be able to pick up easy yards. This is a very good play if it's something your opponent hasn't seen yet, in like crucial short yardage, like 3rd or 4th down situations. I could see myself definitely calling this to try to fit that route in right there. Especially if you have someone really good with really good catching traffic like Colston. I believe his catching traffic's 99. And then against standard man-to-man, especially if they have a linebacker on Brandon Cooks or whoever your slot receiver is right there, don't be afraid to throw that post route. So yeah, that's basically that play. You always want to hit Colston or Cooks. And then Graham and Ingram are pretty much just check down reads. I don't even pay attention to Stills. He's pretty much just there running the corner route to clear out defenders. Let's see. The counter I went over. Halfback slip screen, obviously. You guys know how to run slip screens. It's a good play to mix in, especially if your opponent's blitzing a lot. Inside cross and inside dig I do not run. Spacing is a good short yardage play. If your opponent's been running a lot of zone and you haven't really run it before, I could see running it perhaps. Right there, that was actually a bad read. I should have hit Colston in the flat, but Stills held on to it. But yeah, just read the left side and try to pick up a few yards. I always look for Cooks first, and then Stills, and then Colston. And it's just whichever one's open. Like right there, that was an awful read. Right there, he kind of faked me out. He like sat on Stills to act like he was going to guard him, and then he shot out to Colston at the last second. But good play by the defender. But yeah, just a good short yardage play if you like it. I mean, I don't really run spacing. exactly because of what happened whenever I thought Colson was open and the guy like shot out there. I just don't trust myself enough to make the right read quick enough, and I'd rather not throw a pick six. So I'd be much more comfortable running something like smash Y fade or just like running the ball than calling spacing. And I think that's it. Yeah, guys, I'm pretty sure that was all of the plays. Oh, there was another tactic that I wanted to show you guys out of this formation that I like to do, and it's more of a goal line tactic. Let's see. Just call slants flat. Yeah, okay. So this is something that I like to do inside like the 5-ish. It's really good. I don't know how many people know about it. I know I've had it done to me before, and I've pretty much never knew how to do it until I somehow randomly figured. I was just trying to figure out how to do it, and all of a sudden I called a play that had a fade route and a slant on it, and I threw the slant and it did it. So basically I come out and slants flat, and I leave Graham on his slant route, but I'll put Colston on a fade. And what this does is whenever you throw the slant to Graham, Breeze will throw it like really high, and Graham will get like this weird spec catch, or sometimes he gets like a weird spec catch, or other times he just jumps up. But pretty much what happens is Breeze high points the ball so that pretty much nobody else has a shot at catching it except for Jimmy Graham, and the computer's just going to jump up and catch the ball for you. So I'll try to throw it right there. See, Graham dropped it. I would probably, you could do it to Graham or Colston. They're both reliable targets. But as you can see how Breeze just threw it up, like there's no pass lead involved or anything. Like right there, that was the weird spec catch that I was talking about. But just you just snap the ball, and you don't pass lead, you don't hold anything. I just snap the ball, actually I do hold left trigger, but that's just like more out of habit than anything. I hold left trigger for like every pass, so I don't know if that really matters or not. But I just snap the ball, hold left trigger, and wait for him to cut, and just throw the ball, and that's what'll happen. He'll just throw it super high, and yeah, that's pretty much unstoppable in the red zone from my experience. Pretty much if it's zone, like obviously if it's man, that's super easy. If it's zone, I just wait for him to hit a window where he's kind of open, and just go ahead and let it fly, and hope that he goes up and makes a play on it. Like right here. Right there, I waited for him to cross Kuechly's face, and then I was able to, I think that was Kuechly, and I was able to throw it up and get it. And I'll try it to the other side in a second for you guys. That's the weird spec catch animation. And you can also, I would think you could do it to the other side. I would put Graham on a fade and look for Colston on his slant now. Yeah. And it'll just high point the ball. And so especially if you have a team with the Saints where you have two really reliable catch and traffic, like big catch and traffic receivers, which is pretty rare, but if you're using the Saints or something like that, your opponent, there's no way he can key on what sides you want to throw it to, because you have Colston on one side and Graham on the other. Puts him in a huge bind, and if you pick the right side, it's I don't want to say it's impossible to stop, because nothing's impossible to stop, but that's pretty difficult to stop. There's nothing they can do if they user it. Even if their guy is like right in front of the slant, he won't get an animation to jump high enough for the ball. It just won't happen. Right there, I threw it that was bad timing on me. You can't just throw it whenever. You have to kind of wait for him to get in an open pocket, but yeah, just really, really effective. Inside the 5-ish is whenever I try to do it. I'm sure you can do it probably down to like the 7 or 8, but just from my experience. So I hope that's a helpful tip for you guys. I know I was having a lot of trouble scoring in the red zone until I came across that, and it's helped me out immensely. So hope it was able to help you guys out too. So thanks for watching. I hope this breakdown was helpful to you guys. Next video will be on I believe it's the New York Giants playbook is next. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the New York Giants. So look forward to that. I haven't really messed with their playbook a lot, so kind of look forward to looking around, seeing what I can find in there. So until next time, guys, I'll see you guys later, and have a great day.